biblical drama series House of David, now streaming on Prime Video. We already have our first couple of episodes up there. Michael Iskander plays David. Martyn Ford plays Goliath in this new series. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Michael, let's go ahead and start with you. This is a story that's taught early in school. A lot of families, teach this story often, with their children. We're entering the Lenten season. I mean, talk a little bit about maybe the impact of this role and the timing of the series coming out.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, my history with the story is that, in Sunday school, I can't remember a time where I didn't know about the story of David and Goliath, and
No.
this story has always resonated with me. And so getting to tell the story now, I think, the story is always relevant. It's resonated with so many people throughout the 3,000 years that it has existed, and getting to tell it now in a series form and truly exploring what it means to be a human being in that time, and exploring all the relationships and all the puzzle pieces and the mechanisms behind what it took to get a little young shepherd boy to step up to a man of war, a giant, Goliath. So I'm really excited about this story, and I can't wait for people to see it.
And we get to see, David's journey, but also, with Goliath. I mean, obviously, we get to see a size difference, and that's part of the battle, part of the story. But, let's talk a little bit, Martyn, as far as like the mental versus physical battle, because that's, kind of an important part of the story as well, too, and maybe seeing it through that lens.
Yeah, absolutely. I think any story that's based on size alone, it becomes very, very dull. And I think the key objective of this is that never take for granted or never underestimate your opponent, and never underestimate life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the filming of this. Obviously, different clothes, different movements, different things that people ate. Obviously, no cell phones to be able to use. I mean, talk a little bit about getting into these characters and kind of getting into this time. If you both want to answer that, Michael, I'll go ahead and start with you.
I think one of the things that really helped me get into character was actually the costumes. We take for granted our modern clothes and how comfortable they are and how good they regulate temperature. But back then, there was a lot of layers and wearing sandals all the time. And stepping into David's sandals was something that truly took me by surprise and helped me understand just the walk of what it means to be someone living back then, and every little detail added to the character.
I think for myself, what really helped me get into character was the fact that we were filming in such a real landscape, and you had so many things to contend with. You had the heat, you had the dryness, you had the wind. You could really feel how brutal them times were when you take into consideration there was no aircon, there was no water supply, and I think that really helped me, especially on the battle scenes when we were out in the elements, and this was an extremely hard time of year to be up with no shade, and the heat was pounding on. And obviously there's a buildup of frustration from Goliath. There's a buildup of just let's get this over and done with, and I think it really helps because you were kind of feeling that anyway with the work day was so intense on a physical. The people were phenomenal, but the sun and the dryness, and it was something that couldn't be it couldn't be given to you in a studio. So to be able to have that out in the elements was so real and such a great opportunity.
And as we get ready for the battle, and those scenes to come to the audience in a couple of weeks, I mean, talk a little bit about being on set and just kind of feeling like you've stepped back in time. Obviously, because Michael, like how you mentioned, is that everybody knows the story. This is something that you've taught, from a young kid. So, in your mind, you have this idea of, what this looks like. But for you to actually kind of be in the story that you've known for your, basically your entire life, I mean, what did those scenes feel like filming those?
I mean, there's so many times where I was on set. I remember a specific moment where we were filming the big showdown between David and Goliath, and I looked at Martyn from far away, and his presence and his stature is something that stands out in everyday life. But being in character and looking at him as a man of war, as a giant, and truly him embodying Goliath, and it struck me in a way that I never understood before, and it allowed me to understand the scripture on a whole deeper level. And also thinking that Goliath was about 9 to 10 feet tall, and so truly the chill of that moment, and the fear that would have been present there, but also the love and the courage to overcome it is something that took me by surprise.
I think that's definitely something as actors you absolutely destroy and tear down the script in a way that you try to find the truth, and you need to taste, you need to smell, you need to feel. And I think we've all read the story, we all know the outcome, but as the privilege that we get as an actor is we get to ask questions and we get to really study and to put yourself in that character and to feel how that character may feel, to stand there in the heat, to really understand what that would have been like. The whole story escalates tenfold, and then we get the privilege and opportunity to try and deliver that to the audience, and I think we've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have.
I think you've done a good job.
That is amazing. Michael Martyn, thank you both so much for your time today. House of David, the first couple episodes are already streaming on Prime Video. We're getting new episodes weekly, and thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, buddy. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care.